This episode is definitely mind-boggling. Yeah, mind-boggling. When things are just so crazy that your thoughts get trapped like in a bottle.
Blades of
Here we
glory! Blades of glory!
What are you doing?
Welcome back to Hanging with the Herons. My name is James. This is another 365 movies in 365 days in 3 minutes and 65 seconds. It is, if you hadn't already guessed, Blades of Glory. I love this film. It's really great. I will say this too, it's interesting how Will Ferrell has jumped into some of these sports that are maybe not as popular as others. That's the politically correct way of probably saying it. Jennifer and I enjoy it together. We laugh at a lot of the funny lines that are re-quotable, obviously. Jon Heder and Will Ferrell are really a great duo. They make a great team, great chemistry. The whole cast is really awesome. We'll get to that. Very well written. I'm sure there has to be some significant improvisation, which is pretty funny. It's just a really good, like, sit back, chill out, laugh at a good time kind of film. He's a little edgy for sure. Let's get to that cast. So as we mentioned, Will Ferrell, definitely in this film. He's his typical Will Ferrell funniness, but he brings to the table. It's Will Ferrell. It's funny. Then we have Jon Heder. Love him from Napoleon Dynamite. And what a great role. He's had some other great roles as well. If you haven't seen Just Like Heaven, we actually mentioned it in one of our previous episodes. It's a good film and he's good in that also, but this is a really nice break and separation from Napoleon Dynamite and very, very different. I like him a lot in this role. Another great comedy duo, Will Arnett and Amy Poehler. Sadly not so much anymore, but they were back then. But Will Arnett, just hilarious. Have to love him in Arrested Development. We mentioned that earlier also in a previous episode, one of our favorite TV shows we've watched over and over and over again. He's great. Amy Poehler is kind of special to me because I actually saw her live in New York at ASCAT, and she said some super hilarious, inappropriate things that just blew my mind, caught me super off guard. I love Amy Poehler. I think she's great. Speaking of favorite TV shows, The Office, and The Office's Jenna Fisher is in this film. She's really great in this too. The way that she plays awkward is fun. You know, she was so sharp and smart and witty in The Office. She plays her role well. I mean, she does a great job of seeming sheltered and, you know, inexperienced and like naive in the world. So Jenna Fisher does a wonderful job. Then you have William Fichtner. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he's great. He's done a lot of really weird, awkward, interesting characters throughout the years. He was awesome in the movie Go. I remember him specifically from that film. Then, this is really funny, the coach in this film is actually Coach Craig T. Nelson. If you've never seen the TV show Coach, go look it up on some form of streaming service and find it. It's delightful. And he's great as the role Coach, and he's pretty much Coach in this role almost as well. Nick Swartzen is only as awkward as Nick Swartzen can be in this film, and he's hilarious. And then one of my all-time favorite, just comedians in general, Andy Richter, is in this film, who's also been in Arrested Development. He's great in this as well. Let's get to those quick fire facts. Jon Heder, unlike Napoleon Dynamite, who seems to suffer no injury whatsoever, actually suffered a broken ankle while learning to skate for this movie. Ouch. As we mentioned before, the team of Will Arnett and Amy Poehler, sadly no longer married, but were married actually in this film, even though they're playing brother and sister, and they have a romantic interest. It's not too far-fetched, because they were actually married at one point in time and did love each other. Aww. This is a fun fact, which I think is just awesome and interesting, just the depths of different backgrounds from where actors come from. So Jon Heder actually was a missionary in Japan for 2 years. So in the film, there's a moment where he actually speaks Japanese, and a lot of times it's not really the same person talking Japanese, or the words are apparently just dubbed in somehow. He actually was speaking Japanese, which is pretty cool. Interestingly enough, Jay-Z and Kanye West both use parts of this film in their single song, which is interesting. Chaz, the name of the character in this film, was also the name of his character in Wedding Crashers. You gotta see this movie if you haven't seen it already. It's hilarious. And if you have seen it, please tell me what you think about it, and tell me what you think about it after you've seen it as well. As always, comment below. Thanks for joining me. My name is James for another 365 movies in 365 days in 3 minutes and 65 seconds. Peace.